We have seen a bit of a profit taking coming in from the kind of levels we started the Asian markets with. After Europe has opened, you have seen some petering down in case of the levels there. The gold prices from the high of 12.95 in the earlier Asian markets at around 12.87 on your screens. We have seen a bit of a decline coming in for the Indian gold and silver prices as well. The international silver prices still holding firm at 3.5% on the higher side. Some profit taking is what you have seen for the energy space as well. So from 108 kind of level, some bit of a decline there. But all in all, it really has to do with the Fed saying, or rather Bernanke saying, that they would continue with the huge stimulus going forward, as well as something that has been overall supportive for the commodities there. Let's get in then. Kunal Shah, he's head of research, Nirmal Bang, and he joins us live on the show. Kunal, hi, welcome. What's your sense, first of all, coming in for the energy space? Because that really has been the gainer. After 7% of gain in the previous week, it has been making higher highs on a daily basis.
Well, if you look at the energy market structure, it is clearly pointing out towards a bearish scenario. If you look at all the future risks, they are in a backwardation by 0.8% to 1% right now. This is an indication that going forward, the prices of crude oil is going to go down. But in a near term, this Egypt tension is keeping prices up. As far as any disruption, supply disruption at Suez Canal, we have not seen any of such bad news coming in for the oil market. And in spite of that, prices have fully discounted that $10 rally, mainly pricing any geopolitical risk which can take place if Suez Canal is closed. So I'm of the view that this upside should not sustain, and if you want to go short, the right strategy would be you go short in the August contract, not in the July contract. So even though the August contract is 40 rupees discount than the near month contract, but I see the likelihood of that contract going down is very high rather than the near month contract.
Kunal, also, how would you look at the natural gas prices? Because we've seen a bit of a choppiness into that one as well, but that still is holding around those, 2% range that it continues to trade within.
Well, the major news for the natural gas is that there is a tremendous pressure on the US government to pass the LNG exports. Already 1.5 months back, they allowed almost 0.7% of their total production to get exported. Now they want more this kind of approvals from the government, and there's a tremendous pressure on the government to do so. And because of that only, natural gas, in spite of the robust supply, is not going down. Remember, this is the lag season as far as the seasonality is concerned. This is the season where gas price always goes down whenever the supply is high. But this LNG export approval is basically a major factor which is supporting the prices. So I'm of the view that one should go long in natural gas in spite of the major glut in the market. And if the LNG approval are coming in 15 to 20 days, you may see a spike of 8 to 10% in natural gas. So I'm slightly bullish, mainly because of the expectation of some positive approvals from the US government.
Fair point. How would you look at the precious metal space then? Because after Bernanke's statement yesterday and the kind of decline that we saw for the dollar index, there was a surge coming in for this sector as well. While silver is holding, gold is off those kind of highs. But going forward in the US session before the day ends, what's your strategy?
Well, this was much required, this speech, because the way US 10-year bond yields were shooting up, that was not positive for any market in the world, even not good for the US market, because the housing market, which are very fragile, if the yields kept on soaring, I think even housing market could have faced problem. And because of that, you've seen statement coming from Bernanke that they are not going to they are not going to hike the interest rate. That was required, and because of that, dollar index has corrected. And if you look at the precious metals, they have moved up. But my views still remain unchanged. You are going to see tapering as far as going forward in the month of September or September is concerned. So I'm pretty sure on the tapering front, and this rally should be sold in gold and silver both, because the fundamentals still remains bearish. So you are not going to see $1,000 immediately, but at the same time, I'm not expecting gold prices to move above $1,350. So a $10 to $15 spike should be a good sell. And on Indian basis for the day also, I think the current upside seems to be over exaggerated, and I would look to sell this rally rather than doing any bargain hunting. 26,800, 850 good levels to go short, and expect prices to decline by the end of the day to around 26,650 to 600.
Kunal, how would you look at the base metal prices? Because that space has been oversold. While the fundamentals, of course, have been on the weaker side, you have seen global surplus inventories for most of them. But the kind of news that has come in from US has been supportive for this sector as well.
Yes, more than that, the Chinese data is accounting for major actions from the central bankers, and that is one of the major reasons why base metals have started to move up. If you look at the prices, they are at very low as far as the LME prices are concerned. So I am slightly optimistic about the outlook of base metals rather than outlook of bullions. I think base metals have potential to move up. They have been beaten down very badly. So I'm slightly optimistic, not very bullish, but I think in a short term, the rally in base metals should be very much needed. And I think we are going to see a good bounce back in some of the base metals such as nickel or copper, which have been hammered down very badly. So I'm bullish on base metals, at least from the short term point of view.
Just before we let you go, Kunal, what's your sense coming in for the Indian rupee as well? Because we started the day on a positive note, nearly 0.5% on the higher side, but we seem to have given all of those gains right back. There has been a statement from Macquarie as well, downgrading India there. How much of a further pressure or what kind of a level would you look at for the Indian rupee, especially ahead of the data numbers tomorrow?
Well, we are of the view that rupee should, as far as spot rupee is concerned, it should hold 61. We are not expecting rupee to breach 61 anytime soon, and our view is that it should strengthen in next 15 to 20 days onwards, and you may see levels of 59 also going forward. So in spite of today's weakness, we are slightly optimistic on the about the rupee.
So we advise selling in crude oil futures around 6380, targeting 6320 and 6250 on the lower side, and one can maintain a very strict stop above 6410. We advise buying in copper futures around 413 levels, targeting 419 and 425 on the higher side with a stop below 410. We advise buying in zinc futures on dips to 111, 111.5. targeting 114, and one can maintain a stop below 110. If we get some more dip towards 123.50 in lead futures, it would be a good buying opportunity for targets of 125 and 127 on the higher side, and with a stop below 122.50.
Let's get in Sushil Sinha from Karvy with his strategies on commodities. Sushil, hi, welcome. Let's start with crude first, and that one continues to see a run up, 7% gains in the previous week, 5% gains coming in for this week as well.
Among energy sector, crude oil, we have seen yesterday's sharp decrease in the stockpiles that has led to increase in the prices while the closing at MCX platform. Today it is likely to give a small correction, and then we can see a pullback, sharp pullback, and that's the view, buying view from the crude for the crude oil. And crude oil can be bought around 63.10 to 10.20, 63.20, and the target can be around 64, and the stop loss can be around 62.70.
Sushil, base metal prices also have seen a turnaround coming in. Copper is trading at around 1 week highs right now. How would you want to trade that today?
Among base metal complex, though from Chinese side demand is not much high, but seeing the rally in dollar and also major shared currencies has gained, and therefore equity market has moved up. So taking the cues and also from the stimulus factor, we will be having a buying view on copper, and copper can be bought around 414 for the target of 419. A stop loss can be around 411. That is totally intraday perspective. However, in the evening session we can have some correction as a number of data to be released from US zone.